On June 30th, 1908, something flattened 80 million trees in Siberia, and we still don't know what it was. The official story is a meteor, neat, tidy, closed, but here's what bothers me. The Soviet Union didn't send a serious expedition to investigate until 1927, 19 years later. Why the delay? What were they waiting for? And when those teams finally arrived, what they found didn't match the meteor narrative at all. Let me walk you through the evidence. Exhibit 1, the explosion itself. Around 7:15 in the morning, local Evenki herders, reindeer herders scattered across the remote taiga, felt a blast that knocked them off their feet from miles away. Some reported seeing a blinding light. Others heard a roar that traveled for hundreds of kilometers. The force was staggering. We're talking about an explosion with the force of 10 to 15 megatons of TNT. For context, the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima was 15 kilotons. This was 1,000 times more powerful. 80 million trees lay flattened in a radial pattern, all pointing away from a central impact zone. That's a signature. That's evidence. Exhibit 2, there was no crater. This is where the meteor theory starts to fracture. When a space rock hits Earth, it leaves a hole. The Chicxulub impact 66 million years ago left a crater 93 miles wide. Tunguska, nothing, no impact depression, no obvious point of origin. The epicenter was flat. This is the first real crack in the official story. Scientists scrambled. Maybe it exploded in midair, they suggested. An airburst. The object detonated above the ground like a thermonuclear weapon rather than slamming into it. That's plausible. Comets are fragile. They can break apart in the atmosphere, but plausible isn't proof. Exhibit 3, the eyewitness accounts. Here's where things get strange. Some witnesses reported seeing a massive object moving across the sky, not falling straight down but traveling horizontally, changing direction. One account describes a craft that moved like it had intention, like something was controlling it. Now I need to be careful here. Eyewitness testimony from 1908, filtered through translators, recorded decades after the fact. It's not reliable evidence on its own, but it's a data point, it's a thread, and when you pull on enough threads, you start to see a pattern. Exhibit 4, the magnetic anomalies. Instruments from the 1927 expedition recorded unusual electromagnetic readings at the site. Not dramatic, not conclusive, but present, and present is interesting when you're looking for a cover story. Here's what I want you to consider. Why did the Soviet Union sit on this investigation? They had the resources, they had the interest. The Tunguska region was part of their territory, yet they waited nearly 2 decades, and when they finally went, they went quietly. No international fanfare, no shared data. The black hole theory floated around in the 1970s. A physicist named Albert Jackson suggested a small black hole had passed through Earth, entering near Tunguska and exiting somewhere over the Atlantic. It's mathematically possible. It's also unfalsifiable. We have no way to test it. It's not science. It's speculation dressed in equations. The alien weapon test hypothesis is even more fringe. Some researchers suggested an extraterrestrial craft malfunctioned or deliberately detonated above Tunguska as a test or a warning. It's dramatic, it's memorable, and there's absolutely no evidence for it, not one shred. But here's what we do know solidly. Exhibit 5, the object that hit Tunguska was almost certainly a comet fragment or a stony asteroid. The energy release, the treefall pattern, the airburst signature, they all align with that model. The science works, it's boring, but it works. Exhibit 6, the delayed investigation. The Soviet Union's hesitation wasn't necessarily sinister. The region was remote, dangerous, and economically worthless in 1908. Priorities shift, governments move slowly. Sometimes a delay is just a delay. So here's the truth as we understand it. Tunguska was likely a cosmic impact, a comet or asteroid that exploded in the atmosphere. It wasn't a black hole. It wasn't an alien weapon. It was a natural disaster that happened to occur in one of the most remote places on Earth, where no one was there to document it properly. But in this matters, there are still unknowns. We don't have physical debris. We don't have a confirmed composition. We don't know the exact trajectory, and we'll probably never know. Tunguska happened before we had the tools to measure it properly. What would you have done if you were a Soviet official in 1908? Would you have mobilized an expedition to the middle of nowhere? Or would you have filed it away, marked it as settled, and moved on? That's the gap between conspiracy and reality. It's the space where our imaginations fill in the blanks. Tunguska remains one of the largest explosions in recorded history. It happened, it was real, and it was almost certainly cosmic in origin. The mystery isn't whether it was a meteor. The mystery is why we've turned the mundane into the mythic, and what that says about our need for secrets where only silence exists. Subscribe. Every week we separate what we actually know from what we've been told to believe.